Let's stay with tripartite alliance politics, and the SACP is holding its Red October campaign rally in KwaZulu-Natal today. This year's theme is Land, Food and Work. It forms part of a wider program against the rising cost of living impacting millions of workers and the poor. eNCA's Lethiwe Mdluli is there and joins us now with an update. And so, Lethiwe, it would seem to me from that theme that the SACP wants to keep the focus on the issues affecting communities and South African residents and citizens more than on the internal palace politics that the ANC seems to be locked in ahead of the December conference.
Well, Tula says they've basically threshed the alliance today, more especially the ruling party, the ANC, because the Secretary General is currently delivering his keynote address here in Umzimkhulu, and he's basically saying that the ANC has no backbone. He's also mentioned that he's going to touch on the matters of the SACP actually running for the 2024 elections. But just to get a response about what the Secretary General of the SACP has been saying in stage, I'm now joined by Umamu Mafu, who is the ANC's NEC member. Ma, thank you so much for joining us at eNCA. You've heard some of the speeches coming from your alliance partners, COSATU, and also the SACP. They're basically saying that the ruling party has no backbone and you failed the people. Your response to this?
Thank you so much, Lethiwe. And first of all, this is the Red October celebrations, which talks to the struggles about the SACP, and one of the things that they are talking about is the issue of the land, the food, and the issue of unemployment. The African National Congress, as you know, is a member of this alliance, but is also a government that is running the government. So the relationship of the alliance will always be a cumulus one. It's not going to be a plain sailing relationship, because remember, SACP has got its own demands. COSATU has got its own demands. The African National Congress is in government. And many a times, alliance partners would want to see things that they want to happen in the government, and the ANC is leading. It's normal. The important thing is that the community and everybody, when they look at these things, they must always remember that this is an alliance that is very historical, an alliance that is built on the struggles. And therefore, sometimes when you listen, you think that it's about to break. Relax, take a deep breath, and understand that what is important is that it is about checkmate. It says there are things that we are not doing right. SACP, there are things that we are not doing right. ANC, how do we make sure that we find ourselves and make sure that we are back on the path? And the other thing that is very critical is that, remember, this is an alliance that was put together before the ANC was in government. Now that the ANC is in government, what is it, therefore, that we need to change in dealing with the demands of the alliance partners? So they've got a right to raise those things. Remember, we ourselves decided to be in government, put by the alliance partners. SACP and COSATU rallied behind the ANC and voted for the African National Congress. And we had always said we are the disciplined force of the left. And therefore, at all material times, COSATU and SACP has got a right to have demands against us.
But heading into the elections in 2024, as the ANC, are you not scared of what the SACP has come out and said in taking part in the elections come 2024?
Not at all. Look, the African National Congress believes that the alliance is not under threat. We will have to get onto the table and have discussions around these issues. I don't believe at all that the SACP come 2024 will vote against us. We will talk about this later in 2024, and I will remind you, there is no way that SACP will vote against the ANC, because this alliance is an alliance that was formed in blood. People died for this. What is important is that we need to put our house in order. That's what we need to do.
talking about putting your house in order. The COSATU also spoke a lot about how you failed the working class. Of course, we've seen many strikes across the country where workers are calling for increases, but they're not getting that. There's also the unemployment issue. There's a lot of issues that the ANC is not addressing currently, and people are not happy.
Yes, remember the government is under a lot of pressure. The economy is not doing well generally, and we all know that we are coming from the COVID, which also made the situation worse. Those things are things that we can justify them. But remember, COSATU doesn't have time to justify that because it's leading workers, and workers need to see responses now. SACP is leading its members. They need to see responses now. The important thing is that how do we make sure that we sit and find each other? And I want to say, COSATU has got a right to raise these things because they are the leader of the workers. And therefore, if there is a challenge of unemployment in the country, if COSATU can't talk about that, who must? You see, so they have a right to speak about that. How ANC responds to that is the critical point. So
Mamnoka, I have one more question regarding the national conference. You touched on it when we spoke, or when you rather spoke when you delivered your address. You were talking about this alliance and the leaders that are going to be elected during that national conference. Touch on that just a bit.
Look, the African National Congress is going to its national conference 16th to the 20th of December in Nasrec. And the important thing for me is that with all the challenges that we are facing as the African National Congress, the leadership that must come out of that conference, it must be a leadership that will be able to deal with these challenges that you are talking about. If we are going to elect a leadership that won't be able to deal with these challenges, then we will still have challenges about the alliance and its relationship. It must be a leadership that is committed to understanding that this alliance must be stronger and it must stay forever. For it to stay forever and be stronger, we must deal with these issues. That leadership that must come out at the conference in December must actually commit to that.
But your alliance partners have also blamed you with not including them in policy making because your policies, they're saying that they're not for them currently.
Look, policy, I don't want to get there because you know that when we have conferences, COSATU has got delegation there, SACP has got delegation there. So what then it means is that in the commissions, they have got reps in the commissions that discusses those policies. You know that at the end of the day, what happens is that democracy takes its place and the majority probably prevails, but they are there. They have to make sure that their position prevails in those commissions so that the resolutions that are taken by the ANC conference are actually have got the expression of what they want to see because they are there. They are part of the conference.
Thank you so much, Ma.
Thank you so much, Lethiwe.
Well, Tula says that is Lethiwe Mdluli, who is the ANC's NEC member, basically responding to some of the issues that the SACP and the COSATU alliance partners have raised during this rally. They basically threshed the ruling party, saying that they are no longer for the people, but only for self-generating interests, saying that they might be running for elections in 2024 if the ANC does not fix its house.
All right, thank you for that update. That's eNCA's Lethiwe Mdluli.